Hey everybody, Andrew here from the Guitarist podcast. Today we're going to be looking at a pickup that I purchased for 1 cent. Yep, that's if you didn't get that from the thumbnail and the title of this video. So the way I came across this was on Amazon Haul. It's a service I was previously unfamiliar with. It's like Amazon's version of Temu. So it's a bunch of cheap products. They had this thing that was like, hey, check out this stuff for 1 cent. So I was looking through it and I didn't expect to see anything good. And there was a bridge pickup for a guitar, and I clicked on it. It was a brand called Artec that I had never heard of, and I thought it was something like a DiMarzio knockoff or something because it had the way they were advertising this was it had hexagonal pole pieces, so you can adjust them with an Allen wrench rather than a screwdriver. So I thought, you know what, there's 3 in stock, I'll order all 3. And even though they were bridge pickups, I figured, why not give it a shot? If they sound good, I don't care if it's a bridge pickup, I can put it in neck position, I never really care. I have guitars that I just, mess around with. So I ordered 3 pickups for 3 cents. After shipping and taxes, it was less than $5. But only one arrived. So it's been a hassle that I've been dealing with Amazon for the last couple of days to figure out what's going on. Now, I didn't really want to wait before doing the mod. I was going to put all 3 into my 3 Humbucker Jaguar. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. So today we have my wife's Yamaha Pacifica. So this is the Pacifica 0112 model. I believe this is like the lower end Pacifica. So I put it in the bridge position. So we're going to go through some sounds. I will probably throw some stuff up on the screen of the process of swapping it out. It was a little confusing. It did come with a wiring diagram, but the thing about that was it was incorrect. So I followed the wiring diagram, and you'll see what I'm talking about here later on. But it was supposed to be a 4-wire configuration, so you can, coil tap or coil split. It was actually 5 wires, and one of them was just a big wire completely coated in solder, while the rest were all plain copper wire. So I had to kind of just combine both the ground wires together, and then I ran it the rest of the way based on the diagram. But you'll see what I'm talking about with the diagram being wrong, because I believe it's out of phase, just the way they wired it. So here we go. So it's just the bridge pickup that I swapped out today, and let's check it out. So clean, it sounds just fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a little bright. And then we'll switch over to the number 2 position, so the bridge pickup and the middle pickup together. So again, it's not a bad sound, clean. You get a lot of that quackiness from the middle pickup, so it's more like a Strat sound that you'd come to expect. The original stock pickup on this, I did not do any before clips, but the original stock pickup matches very well with the other 2. The difference with this, though, is I think they wired this pickup with both coils of the humbucker out of phase with each other. So it is something I could probably go back and correct if I rewire it. But I'll show it in the little clips where they have it, what I'm assuming is backwards based on their wiring. There's a red wire and a white wire that are supposed to be the 2 from the individual coils that come together. And I think that they have those mixed up with the opposite wires. So again, I just followed the diagram as is, aside from that extra ground wire that I combined with the main ground wire. So hopefully that all makes sense. So clean, we sound just fine. It is a little bright. It's a little, little not to my preference, I would say. I don't know. But we're going to jump into some drive, and this is where it really falls off for me. So we're going to run into the Keeley Manus. So that was just the bridge pickup. We'll go back to that number 2 position. Now my problem with that is the Manus is not usually that dark of a pedal. It does have a bass boost on it, but with the bridge pickup, with any kind of drive, I expected this was going to be, like I said, a DiMarzio kind of clone. So I figured it'd be like high gain, and it really just falls off. I mean, it's really muddy. There's no clarity, and then I can hear it in the room, the out of phase thing. I don't know if you guys can hear it on recording, but in the room, when I'm hitting those chords, it just sounds like the coils are out of phase with each other, which I've never experienced with a single humbucker being out of phase with itself. And then switching over to that number 2 position, it just the middle position, the middle pickup tries to save it, but I don't know. It's being overpowered by that humbucker, just being super muddy. So let's try a little higher gain. We're going to run through the Earthquaker Devices barrows, and just hear for yourself. And now that number 2 position with the barrel still on. So with the barrels on, it doesn't sound nearly as bad, but that is with the attack all the way up, so you're getting the most distortion, the most gain out of this thing as you can. And to me, it still just sounds way too muddy. If I plug any other guitar into that barrels with the attack all the way up and the tone on the guitar all the way up, it gets very bright and it stays articulate even with the higher gain of the fuzz. So you did hear it does hold that sustain that the barrows offers. So that holds up with this pickup. But as far as like tone, it just sounds so dead. So I'll give you an example real quick. We'll turn that barrels back on, and we're going to go straight from the number 1 position to the 5 position with the neck pickup. So first position. And now that number 5. So it really should be much brighter than the neck pickup, and it's just a little bit brighter. So not really impressed with this thing. I'm not going to run it through any other effects today. You guys heard it through an overdrive, you heard it through a fuzz, and I'm just going to say I'm not impressed with this pickup whatsoever. There were a couple other issues with it, which I will show on the screen. So upon installing to the pickguard, the screws for the pickup were too small. The heads are too small to line up with the matching screws on the pickguard itself. So these screws are just absolutely tiny compared to the included Yamaha screws. Now the problem with that is just aesthetic, but when I went to try to use the actual stock Yamaha screws, the screws were just slightly, like less than half a millimeter too big for the screw holes on the pickup itself. So unfortunately, the aesthetic nature of that, it doesn't look good. The pickup is somewhat wobbly. I'll show that on the screen as well. Aside from that, The wiring was a little weird. Like I said, there was that extra ground wire for no reason. And then the whole thing with Amazon Haul messing up with my order, I reached back out to them a couple days after. It said that all 3 were delivered. And they said, oh no, for some reason the 2 of them didn't ship. We only shipped 1, so we're going to send the other 2 out. Expect them within 24 to 48 hours. So 72 hours go by, and I still didn't have the other 2. So I reached back out, and again, I paid 2 cents for these missing pickups. So I reached back out, and I said, hey, what's going on with this? It's not a big deal. I just want to know if you guys are going to send them or not. I had a video lined up that I wanted to do with these pickups. They said, 24 hours. We messed up. I don't know what's going on, but we're going to get those sent out to you. It seems like they're sitting at the warehouse. Okay. So I guess they reached out to the logistics team about the fact that there were 2 pickups still sitting in a cubbyhole at the warehouse, apparently. So I waited 26 hours at that point. I reached back out and said, hey, are you guys not actually shipping these? Because there's no update on my orders page. Because they told me there's going to be an update on the orders page saying they're going to be shipped out. So they said, no, we just don't have them. They're sold out. So the first time I reached out, they said, sorry to inconvenience you. Here's a $15 credit in your Amazon account. I said, okay, cool. That's way more than I paid for these pickups. Reaching out today, just before shooting this video, figuring out what's up, and they said they don't have them. They actually offered to give me a $34 credit to my account because for some reason, the only ones they have in stock anywhere on Amazon would cost about $34 for the pair. So altogether, Amazon paid me to buy this 1 cent pickup. So yeah, I actually made a profit on this somehow. But this was just something fun for a little video. For a 1 cent pickup, this went about as well as I thought it would. Maybe even a little bit better because the pickup actually does work. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. It's definitely not the worst sounding pickup, but yeah, the stock one that came in this Pacifica was much better, and it's going right back in this thing. So thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget to check us out every Sunday on the Bad Guitarist podcast here on YouTube or wherever else you get your podcasts, and we'll catch you next time.